Peace, this medicine man. I'm going to show y'all a brief layout on how to self-diagnose yourself spiritually for any type of blockages that's in your life. Oftentimes, like I say, we be around people a lot. We be in environments, and we attract energies to ourselves that's negative and unproductive to our own way of living and our way of life. So we need to cleanse ourselves. And part of cleansing ourselves is having the right mind state and the right ideas about cleansing ourselves. So we always want to consult with the ancestors and our spiritual guardians so that we can in tune ourselves better with an understanding of what we need to do in order to rectify the problem of the blockages in our life. So I'm going to demonstrate and show y'all a reading, based on that. Shuffle. Now on this side, on the right hand side, what we're actually doing is we're going to look at those influences in that person's life that are the root causes to the type of blockages that we're looking for and the type of blockages that exist. So let's take a look at the first card. Here, second. Here, it's 8 of diamonds and a 7 of clubs. 7 and 8 is what? 15. 1 and 5 is 6. Keep a note, 6. Going back cross. King and 10. King is a 10, and that's another 10. 20. So we got 26 up top. Let's move down. We got a 2, and we got 6. That's 8. And we have a 7 and 11 or 1. Let's see. So that's 28. 8 and 28, 15 and 20. 20 and 15 is 35. 3 and 5 is 8. So now in the interpretation that we're doing here, we're looking at the spiritual blockages in this person's life. The spiritual blockages in this reading is based on how we interpret the numerological aspect. So we're looking at the numerology first. Now we're going to come back and we're going to interpret the suits based on what we found in the numerology. We have 20, 15, 35. So now 3, 5, 8. 8 of diamonds. What's significant about this 8 of diamonds? Look at the 7. This 7 represents an issue, a spiritual issue in this person's life. This 10 represents another form of spiritual issue But it shows that the spiritual issue is intense, complete, because 10 is the number of completion. So whatever kind of issue you're dealing with, it is absolute. It is a complete issue. All right. So now, when you look at the 7 and 1, you get what? 8. You know? So it's pointing back at this issue again. So now the king is the person. This guy, he has a form of self-love, and it can prosper for him to reach this level right here. Number 8 is a number of infinity. Cyclic infinity. If it's associated with the human body, it would be associated definitely with something of the nervous system and things like that. So you will be looking at people with nervous disorders and things like that. You know, that's from another level of the reading. But when we look at the number 8, infinity, this is where he's trying to reach. The blockages in this person's life is based on his prosperous ideals and the fact that he's trying to reach infinity within his own self. But he can't, because he has this issue and this issue. So now we still got the number 8 right there. So now we go down and look at the rest of the reading. And we just generally looking at what's going on up top. We just generally looking at it. We're going to go back to it in the end. So now we go down here. 6 and 2 is 8. Pointing back at this original 8. This 8 is very significant in this person's reading. 7 and 1. Ace is 1 or 11. 7 of spades, which shows the 7 of spades actually is a problem. The clubs is an issue. The issue can be rectified. It don't have to be big. It's not huge. It's just minor. But the 7 is a definite problem. So he has a spiritual problem on both ends. Look at it. The 7 of spades and the 7 of clubs, all the way up this line. So now when we go to interpret, we can look at and read this line and see what it says here. 7 of clubs, the spiritual issue, that's completely an issue that deals with his body and spirit. It deals with a form of duality, something that he needs to bring into balance, because he has a sense of unbalancedness. This is imbalance. And then, which ultimately causes the problem of the spiritual issue that he's facing. You see, so this tells a whole lot about his blockages, just in one perspective. Now, when we look at the other perspective of the blockage, let's go here. 8, king, 6, 1. Okay, let's start at the bottom. 6 and 1 is 7. 1 plus 7 is what? 8. Take us right back here once again. It's 8 of diamonds. 10 and 8 is 9. Right? Now that 9 that we got there, because this is talking about his spiritual, what spiritually needs to be done to help this person. So that 9 is a number of the ancestors. It's the number of transformation. It's a number of death, meaning that something must die in order for something to come into life, into existence. Now, when we want to look at the ultimate answer to this reading, the ultimate answer, what are some of the things that can be done? What is the remedy to what we're looking at in this reading, all of these issues and how they're lining up in his life. What is the remedy for it? He or she definitely needs to work with the prosperity deity, because that is where the issue ultimately lies. The number 5 is a number of prosperity. There's something that he's doing wrong in his life where he can't prosper spiritually. And this explains the blockages. Now you can look, we can go into it by plucking. Now, if I was to say, well, I understand that it's because of his prosperity, and it don't necessarily have to mean that it's all about money, because it's not. It don't have to be about money. Prosperity can be your riches are your prized possession. This person may be a bad parent or a bad husband or wife. You don't know. So you want to see what the issue is. Now, when we're looking at the issues, we pull them from the bottom. When we're looking for the solutions, we pull from the top. So we're looking for the issue. What is the underlying issue in a more direct way? Ace, a spade. Now remember, we talk about all of these stuff being issues that were spiritual on this line. Remember? Oh, guess what? The Ace of Spades is ancestral. So this greater solidifies that what we were saying about this issue being spiritual. See? Spiritual problem, spiritual issue, spiritual problem here. And the ancestors show up in the direct center when we ask the question as to what exactly is the problem. The problem is you imbalance with your ancestors. Okay? You imbalance with your ancestors. Completely imbalance with your ancestors. So this person prescription, and that's just from this level of the reading, it goes on. I can diagnose here, 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 or here, 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 or here, or there. We can diagnose any part, any deeply. But the issue is here is that we've already seen where the problem lies with this client. We see that it's ancestral and it's spiritual. And the spiritual part of his life and his essence is actually blocking his material blessings. So once he removes the spiritual blockages that he have, he'll be open to opportunities, job interviews, love life, better social life, greater creative ideas. He'll awaken his inner genius by tapping into his ancestral powers, because this is what they're saying. So with that being said, I just wanted to give you guys understanding, a nice good understanding of, and a brief glimpse of one of the readings that I do to determine blockages, and one of the readings that you can learn. It's it's not simple, but this is the basic understanding of how you can determine blockages for yourself. And then that would actually help you from getting a lot of readings done. Because I know a lot of people get readings done all the time and they want to know what their blockages are, but here we go. Here is a brief way of kind of determining your own blockages. And then you can consult with a spiritualist to find out what are some of the remedies you can do to remove those blockages off yourself. And this is part of learning Hoodoo. There are many different spreads. Many different root workers have many different spreads. This is just one that I've found to be very accurate and on point. So